makes man. Is what we bring to you here on the sponge. We give you the information that you need, from business to economy to politics to technology. And that's what we do here on the sponge, from the beginning to the end. And that is why we are here. Keep watching this sponge from Ben Television. And Tunde Alabi, your host. Right, welcome back, and my name is Tunde Alabi. It's a pleasure having you on the program today. The program is Voice. This is a program that has been dedicated to promoting issues around our communities. A program designed to educate our communities on their legal responsibilities and rights and duties here in the United Kingdom. Of course, we know this is a country of law, and so if you're in this country, you need to live within the scope of the law. You need to abide by the rules, play by the rules, and stay within the law. And so on the program today, we create a system where we educate our community on legal information. It's not legal advice, take note, it's not legal advice, but we give some kind of information on legal matters, either education, immigration, marriage, or business, anything that's got to do with legal matters. That's what we discuss on this program. My name is Tunde Alabi, and my guest and regular guest on the program is a senior partner at Obaseki Solicitors Space here in the United Kingdom. Obaseki Solicitors is solicitors of the Supreme Court of England, and they are involved in all matters in legal affairs in the United Kingdom. Joining me is Jennifer Obaseki. Jennifer, you're welcome to the program today.
Thank you.
Today we'll be taking a look at the criminal justice and the power of arrest. Well, the criminal justice is a very wide area. Jennifer will be telling us more about it, but what we'll be taking a look at today is the power of the police to arrest, to detain, and your rights as a citizen or even as a suspect under the criminal justice. Of course, no news that the black and ethnic minority, there's this unfair and imbalance in the treatment being meted out to the ethnic minority when it comes to criminal justice, either the way the police handles suspects in the area of stop and search, or even when it comes to magistrate or the high court. But we're not looking at that today. Today we're staying within the ambit of the police, the power of arrest to detain, and your rights as citizens to legal representation, or to be refused to be stopped and searched, or what it is within the scope of the law. Jennifer will be doing justice to this topic today. Thank you, Jennifer, for being part of the program today. In my intro, we looking at criminal justice and the power of the police to arrest, and the rights of the citizens to either resist or refuse to be stopped, or access to legal representation, or as a suspect or as a citizen. Let's start with criminal justice system. What would we consider here in the United Kingdom as the police's right to stop somebody, set somebody, arrest somebody, or whether through the use of excessive force or mild force?
Well, the reason why I think this topic is important is, if I start with that, with the new immigration legislation that's going on, the Immigration Act 2014, with the issues that we have with the heightened security due to terrorism, it's important that people realise that obviously we all want to be safe. The police have a job to do. And with the rights of the police to stop and identify who you are, and the actual imbalances you mentioned with the number of black and ethnic people who are stopped and searched, you have to realise that if you're in that position, what are your rights at that time? So number one, the police have the right to stop and search you if they feel that you are a suspect in a matter, if you match the description of somebody who has been relayed in relation to an offence that has been reported to them. If they suspect that you are guilty of criminal behaviour, then they can justify their reason for stopping and searching you. But if out of a crowd and you're going your way and you are randomly selected, you have the right to ask, why are you stopping me, officer? There's also, under the Police Reform Act, unless you actually are, unless it's explained why you are being stopped and searched, you have the right to refuse to answer questions. unless you're under arrest, you do have that right to actually say, sorry, but I think you're actually going above your power and I'm not prepared to answer that particular question because you have not justified to me why you've stopped me, etc. But the one thing that we want our community to do is to be cooperative and not to be seen as uncooperative. At the end of the day, if you've got nothing to hide, then there should be no reason why you would not cooperate. However, if you're one of the few that have been stopped repeatedly without justified explanation, then you can understand why you would want to actually hold an officer to account, to say, why have you stopped me out of all the other people, or what are your reasons for wanting to stop and search me? And unless you're giving a valid explanation, then you may decide to take steps to protect yourself. Number one, always try to identify your officer. There's nothing like when people come and report incidents to solicitors and say, well, the officer was pushing me or was talking to me very rudely, and you didn't get the officer's number badge, or you didn't, shoulder number, or you didn't get the officer's name. So the one thing you have to try and recollect is the officer's actual shoulder number. Then the second thing is you also have to try and relay the incident as best as you can from what happened, what was being asked, what was being said. But the police do have the right to stop and question you if they have you as down as a suspect for a particular offence, and also if they want to identify who you are. Under the Immigration Act, again, and with the new legislation that's coming with regards to terrorism, it's important that they are able, and you as an individual are able to identify yourself if asked to by police. Because under the terror legislation, they want to be able to identify who people are at any time. Even, you know, this has been stepped up in third-party organisations such as solicitors. We also have to identify who our clients are. Certain other people as well have to identify, banks have to identify who their clients are. But with police, theirs is a security measure, so they are obligated, if they feel you're walking and you are not you're acting suspiciously, and they want to identify who you are, whether you now have a right to be in the country, they can take that questioning from who you are to what your status is in the United Kingdom. Again, if they have that suspicion for you either being here as an illegal immigrant or for whatever reason. But finding out the reason why you have been stopped primarily, yes, you do have a right to know what that is. Deciding whether you're going to cooperate with that officer if you feel that the stop is justified and the questions are justified, yes, that's your decision to make. We recommend at all times that you are cooperative with officers. But if you feel that this is something that's completely unreasonable, you've been stopped maybe 5 times that week and this is like the 5th one more time too many, and you feel, hold on a minute, you haven't justified anything to me, I feel that it's a bit unfair or unreasonable, and that's why I'm not going to answer your questions. It's better to explain to the officer why you feel objective to what they've asked of you or what they're asking from you.
Would it be right or within the power of the police to stop and ask an individual about his or her status in the country?
This is the thing. Once you've identified who you are, if they ask, are you a British citizen or what are you here as a foreign national? Is it within their power? It is within their power if they suspect you of being an overstayer in the country, because that is an offence. So this is where, as I say, the reason why we've raised this program as a topic is important. What will be the function of when they are not immigration officer? I think they have different responsibilities. When you overstay in the United Kingdom and when you fail to comply with immigration rules and regulations, it is an offence. But that offence needs to be identified. Don't you think it needs to be identified by the immigration officer first and foremost? A policeman can ask you whether you have breached a regulation or a law that applies to an immigration act. So if you have stayed in the United Kingdom, breached immigration rules, entered the United Kingdom illegally, those are criminal offences. As well as immigration offences, there's a crossover. And this Immigration Act makes it even more clear that there's areas that there's going to be a crossover. So a policeman can ask you your status, and if he feels you've breached an immigration or you're in breach of immigration rules, yes, he can then enforce and arrest you for on suspicion of being an overstay or breaching immigration rules, take you to the police station. While he's there, ascertain whether you come up with your fingerprints as having a valid visa in the UK or not. And if you're guilty of immigration offences, he can call immigration. And that's what's happening. And that's why this is important. So from a stop and search, you could find yourself going to the police station on suspicion of having breached immigration rules. Then from the police station, if there's any other offences, for example, you have a bank card, for example, you have identity on you that is not yours or that is not genuine, you can then be charged with possibly a criminal offence per se. And then if you get charged, it's down to the police and immigration whether you'll get bail following those offences. If it's solely an immigration offence, then the immigration officers may be called in and may decide to either detain you straight away if you are here illegally or you are an overstayer. They have a right to detain you if you've breached immigration rules right there and then. So you'll be moved from the police station into immigration detention. But if there's a criminal offence as well, then what's likely is the criminal offence is likely to be dealt with first if the police feel there's enough evidence to charge you. So that's when you move from arrest to charge. If you're charged, then you will go into criminal detention, so prison, or you'll stay in the police station until you go to court and then a judge will decide whether you get bail. But if it's just solely an immigration offence and they think, by the time we spend taxpayers' money to prosecute for the other offences, etc., well, let's just move him to immigration and immigration start moving towards your removal or detention and then removal, it's very swift. At that stage, there's no ability to voluntarily leave the United Kingdom unless you have a lawyer that is very experienced and will get you a travel document and opt for you to leave voluntarily. And that's if immigration even reply, because at that stage, as far as they're concerned, they just want to tick you off the list of people that they've managed to secure and enforce removal because you're here illegally. But if you manage to get somebody who's able to get your travel document and you leave voluntarily, it means you will then escape that administrative removal issue and then you're able to go. But it's very difficult at that time to try and negotiate a voluntary departure. And if unfortunately you're charged with a criminal offence and they've decided to charge you and you don't get bail, then you will go into prison, have your criminal case heard first. So if it's the identity documents maybe you're having or a bank card, etc., you may be convicted of that. If you get a sentence of more than 1 year, as you know, that's automatic deportation. But if you get a sentence less than 1 year,
or 1 year,
or less than 1 year, what could happen?
There's over and there's less, or there's just 1 year. Which one kicks in automatic deportation? Automatic
deportation is sentenced more than 12 months.
Okay.
And so what happens there is you would need to fight it if you have the ability to show that there's human rights reasons, or you need to claim asylum at the end of the sentence, or there's another reason why you can challenge that decision to automatically remove you from the United Kingdom because your presence is not conducive to the public good. So you might say it was maybe a crime, I don't know, every situation is different. So it may be a crime of desperation, a crime of necessity, maybe you were needing to feed yourself, then you explain your immigration situation, or you have children here, you're married, you have British children, your partner's disabled, can't look after the children. Whatever your situation is, if you're facing automatic deportation, it's important that you act quickly. What's important to note is if you're a prolific offender, if you offend over and over, and you've even got British status, what's important to note now is that they're actually taking, let me say, proactive steps to revoke people who have indefinite leave to remain and British nationality at this stage. So again, if you are served with any notice and you've done more than 12 months, or you've got any notice of intention to revoke your status, please act swiftly. There's no legal aid for
let's take this one after the other. Even as a British citizen, you're saying that
there is power to revoke your status.
When you, even as a prolific offender, yes, when you're not charged for terrorism offences?
It doesn't have to be terrorism. It could be repeat robberies. It could be repeat sexual offences. It could be repeat offences to do with, let's say, gang activity. It could be repeat drug offences. Yes. So it's important that people realise, don't think that that red passport is going to protect you forever. If you acquired it not by birth, if you acquired your nationality after a period of naturalisation, then yes. And if you haven't had it for long, I must say that many young people in prison are quite shocked. And you know, when they say, but I'm British, Miss Obaski, how come this is happening? I'm British, haven't you told them I'm British? And then you realise that the history of offending is quite detailed, and that's the reason why the revocation wants to, or the Secretary of State has gone for revocation of the nationality.
Can it be challenged?
Of course it can be challenged, but the thing is you have to act swift and fast. So whenever you have, if you do have a relative in detention and they receive any kind of notice, it is very important that you get proper and sound legal advice. Make sure that the documents are faxed to a lawyer. Make sure that you get a lawyer that's experienced and qualified and able to act quickly.
Now let's take this one after the other. Let's look at the rights of a suspect at the point of stop and search.
So back to right at the beginning, when the officer's stopping you. As I said, the officers have the right to stop and search you if they feel that you are a suspect in relation to a crime that they feel, a report that they've received. If it's just a random stop and search, there is no such thing as a random stop and search. If the police officers try to put that on you, then you have to explain to them or ask why they feel justified in stopping you in particular. Why? Why me? Random, why have you chosen myself? Am I looking guilty of something? Do I meet the description of somebody? But the one thing not to do is to become argumentative. No. The one thing that you can do is ask clear questions. Yes. You should be cooperative at that time. But if you feel that the officer has acted inappropriately, abused their power in any sort of way, or uses excessive force, then you can make a report. And as I've said, it's important that you take note of what the officer says and does and the officer's shoulder number. And reports about officers can go in different ways. One, you can report to the officer's commander. So that's the chief superintendent, the person that runs the area, the station and the borough. The other thing that you can do is you can report to the IPCC, which is the Independent Police Complaints Authority. Or you can pursue a private complaint that is not going through the Police Complaints Authority, but going direct through a solicitor straight to the Metropolitan Police Force or the commanding borough force that is dealing with that officer's patch or that area and outlining what your complaint is. And you know, depending on what has taken place, depending on what your injury is, depending on what has been said and how the whole thing plays out, will depend on the different headings of complaints that you may have against that particular officer or against that particular borough force or that area command. So it's important again that you do try to report any particular incidents as quickly as possible to a solicitor so you can get advice on the best route to make sure your complaint goes down. Okay,
all right, before I take the next question, let's quickly go on a very short break. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Human rights, criminal litigation, immigration, civil litigation, family law, business law, landlord and tenant law, employment law, Sharia law. At Obaseki Solicitors, we can provide you with advice and assistance at all levels. We have over 100 years experience in serving our local communities, and we have a new maritime and international law department. We can help you. Book a free consultation today. Obaseki Solicitors, providing you with advice and assistance at all levels.
Are you planning a trip to Lagos anytime soon? Then make it a date with us at Dreamland Luxury Suites. Dreamland Luxury Suites is an icon in the city of Lagos, offering luxury at its most resplendent. Our executive rooms are fitted with classic Italian sofa seats, providing a truly comfortable stay away from home. We are located just 10 minutes away from the international airport in Lagos. Our facility is a perfect match to accommodate visitors. Enjoy the best of African and continental dishes. Experience fullness of hospitality like never before in an atmosphere of imperial splendor at affordable rate. Dreamland Luxury Suite. Luxury with comfort and privacy is our promise.
I say and do.
All right, you're welcome back, and we're still taking a look at the criminal justice system. We're looking at the power of the police to stop, to search, and to arrest, and your rights as a citizen or as a suspect in where you are put in a situation where you're going to be stopped, to be searched, or to be arrested. Okay, Jennifer, let's look at the situation. As part of the suspect's or citizen's right to protect himself or herself for record purpose, would they be within the person's right to document the incident by way of use of if he has immediate access to camera or his phone to start recording the incident for purpose of record?
You know, we've been looking, or if anybody's quite savvy with the internet, you've seen all these various different incidents from the USA that have been happening. People automatically recording what's happened, police using excessive force. Yes, if you have the ability to record, then you should record. The one thing that they say is that if you're recording somebody, you have to let them know that you are recording them. That's the sort of official position. However, if there's an incident taking place, and the best way for you to document everything is to either press the record button for voice on your phone. That's one way to record it. If it's to have the camera on your phone, that's another way to record it. And if you are witnessing what you feel may be an abuse of power by a police officer, indeed, that would be the most accurate way to record it. You can't sit down and write down, he said this, she said that. Yes, indeed, you don't sit down and say, officer, I'm recording you. But if that tool is available, if that resource is available, then yes.
So it is within the rights of the
if you're in public and something's going on, yes, indeed. So far as you're not obstructing that officer from the execution of his duty, you cannot obstruct a police officer.
No, if you are the person and for the purpose of record, you bring out your camera. Yes, you're not stopping the officer, but you're asking questions, but you're also making video record. Is within your rights.
The conversation.
Okay, that should be used. Now, as anybody under 18 is probably considered as minor. What would be the rights of anybody under 18 when it comes to being arrested or being stopped and searched? Quickly.
Well, number one, they should be entitled to have an adult present. Number two, they have to also make sure that they are advised of their rights before going to the police station. Number three, if there's an issue with regards to the child understanding their rights, that's an issue. Number four, the child's welfare has to be checked as well. When it comes down to minors, there's an obligation by the police force and the station to make sure that the child's welfare is maintained whilst the child's in their
or I'm afraid,
Jennifer,
well. This is how far we might be able to go on this topic. We'll continue from there next time we'll meet. Thank you for being part of the program today. We've been taking a look at the criminal justice and the power of the police to arrest, to stop, to search, and your right as suspect or citizen or as a minor or as an adult where you find yourself in this situation. But above all, be cooperative. Do not be argumentative. Do not attempt to struggle with anybody, but do make you have the right to record every situation, to take record of every situation, either with the use of your camera, phone, or anything for purpose of record where there is an abuse or excessive use of force on the part of the police. This is how far I can go. Our sincere appreciation to Jennifer Obaseki and co here in the United Kingdom. Thank you for being part of the program. Pleasure. And our sincere appreciation to Dreamland Hotel in Nigeria, located at Omole Phase 1. If you're looking to travel to Nigeria anytime soon and you're looking for an affordable, reliable, secured hotel within the center of Lagos. Dreamland Hotel Omolefeson will be the right place to check them out. Dreamland Hotel Omolefeson. Our sincere appreciation to them for their support. Thank you so much. This is how I can go on the program today. My name is Tunde Alabi. I'll see you again next week. Bye. From business to economy to politics to technology. And that's all we do here on this sponge. From the beginning to the end. And that is why we are here. Keep watching this sponge from Ben Television. I am Tunde Alabi, your host. From politics to economy, to business, technology, the totality of what makes man is what we bring to you here on this sponge. We give you the information that you need. From business to economy, to politics, to technology. And that's all we do here on this sponge. From the beginning to the end. And that is why we are here. Keep watching this sponge from Ben Television. I am Tunde.